Hello and welcome to Curiosity Chronicles. Today we are going to have a little chat about what may be coming now that Prince Harry has had his BBC dumpster fire of an interview. I just don't know anymore with these people. It's almost like they're like just like what, how ridiculous can we be before people will start to notice? So one thing I did notice, and I'm going to show you a photograph, is okay. So this, where are we here? There we go. We'll do it like this. So this is the interview way back that they had with an American broadcaster. I can't remember which one, so we'll not speculate on that. I'll not try to guess. So look, notice the picture, the drapes. This is the BBC interview, and I'm just holding it up against a book, so in case it is a bit transparent. It's the exact same room. It's the exact same room. Look at the table, the drapes, the painting. It's the same room. Even I saw another photo, and you can see the glass jar. See right there? There's like a glass vase. It looks like a science beaker. There it is right there. So I don't know what that means. I just thought it was interesting that these two interviews took place in the exact same room. And if you look, it looks like he's wearing the same outfit. So, which I'm not going to put a big pin in that moment, because oftentimes men have, suits, they all look the same. So you can't tell if they're wearing the same suit every day or a different one every day. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting that the two interviews took place in the same room. I think the question that comes up for me was, when was the BBC interview actually filmed? Was it filmed right after the trial? Did he race from the TV at home to that room to sit down? I don't know. I think these things would take a bit more planning, to send somebody over to fly over, like wherever this room is. I don't know where this room is. This room could be in California. This room could be in England. I don't know. Maybe somebody knows. I don't know why that really stuck out for me, but I was like, isn't it interesting that these two interviews look like they were filmed on the same day? So they've had it, my opinion is that they could have been holding on to that interview all this time and then pick their moment to release it. So we know that the interview was basically a response to the courts in England telling Harry that no, he would not be getting his extra security protection when he visits England, which isn't actually 100% the case. From what I understand and what I've researched, is that if he gives England a 28 days notice that he will be coming to visit, they can do a risk assessment, which is where they kind of scan the information and the temperature of the country and the world and everything else to see how much risk is he actually in, so that they know what level of security he does actually in fact need. Now, celebrities around the world visit England and they pay for their own security and they bring their own security. I'm not sure why he feels he needs England to pay for that. And when we say England, I mean the English taxpayer, like the British taxpayer, has to pay for it. And that's not cool. That's not cool at all. He left. He turned his back on the country. He turned his back on the family, and he left. So we know that the judge's decision would not have gone down well with either of them. And that interview really, I would love to know when it was actually filmed, because the level of paranoia, I'm just going to say it. He sounded like his mother. that was like that interview that she gave, it really felt the same. It sounded the same like that. I really am starting to believe he is, in fact, in a mental health crisis, and he's trying to just cope with everything. Being married to Meghan cannot be helping at all. And, you know, I mean, I think we all know the best thing would be for him to get out of that situation and try to find a way back. But a lot of damage has been done. So as a response to this thing of him not getting his security, the feeling that I'm getting and the sense I'm getting is that they are going to pull a stunt. They've pulled many stunts to try to prove they need this heightened level of security because everybody's trying to kill them. He basically said his family wants him dead. It's not the case. It's not the case at all. They want him to shut up, is what they want. They want him to shut up and behave himself. Really, stop making everybody look bad, especially himself. That's what he wants, or that's what they want. But he believes they want him dead. And that is, without any real proof, that's a big jump. That's a big jump. There are people that I know want me dead because they've told me. They've said I deserve to die if I don't do X, Y, Z. And I'm like, okay, well, we'll see how that's going to work out. Because my thing is I'll outlive you. So yeah, but they've said it to me, so I know how they feel about me. I don't think anyone in the royal family has said, you know what, Harry, we would like you dead. We're just not going to be paying for security for somebody who's not a working royal, not part of the family anymore, and is actively working against the family. Like, come on. Anyway, so here's what I think might happen. And I kind of came up with 3 scenarios, and I thought there's one that really jumps out. So the first one would be that there's an incident at the house in Montecito, and that somebody, Harry, dies, and yeah, it's the ultimate "I told you so" moment, right? I've seen that on a gravestone. I told you I was sick. You know, when people didn't believe someone was sick and then they die, right? Well, this is Harry, so we know it's going to be extra, extra. So there's a couple things that the optics on this one would be really good for them. It would show that they were living together, married in Montecito, because so many people don't believe that they are, in fact, still together. I don't think he is. I don't think that he's at Montecito. I think he's flying around the world trying to figure out what to do. So the question that comes up is, if he dies in California, would the family insist on a royal funeral? They might. So that creates a dilemma for Meghan Markle, which is the expectation would be that those children would be there. And do we believe those children are actually their children, their biological children? Like, I think the children that they're showing pictures of exist. Do we believe that those children are actually, in fact, their biological children, right? Because if they're not, how are they going to get 2 children that kind of look like them to fake being super crazy sad that their father has dropped dead in front of them or been murdered in front of them, right? So that he can say, I told you so. I told you so. It would give Meghan her life's role, the grieving widow. Yeah, the depressed duchess. Ooh, right? So we've got that. If that does happen, she would have to insist on a private funeral, because then she can keep these children hidden still. And it could be easily faked. But here's the thing. People would side with the royals if she excluded them from that private funeral. Okay? So scenario number 2. Meghan dies. Not the most likely, but it does free Harry to live his life and get lots of sympathy. But it still leaves the children as an issue, because eventually, like if say she dies and then allegedly, this is all for entertainment purposes, it's just speculation and just a hunch of what may be coming, because we've already seen their stunts, like the New York City chase in the car. Fun fact, if you've ever been to New York City and you've been trying to get somewhere in a vehicle, you will know it is usually faster to just walk than it is to be in a car. You can't do speedy chases through Manhattan. That's just not a thing. That's in movies. That's in the movies, but not in real life. You can, you drive 3 feet and then you're stuck again in traffic. So we know they'll pull stunts. It's just going to be which stunt are they going to pull next based on this security court result thing. So if it's going to be that Meghan dies, then it frees Harry, but he's still got the issue of the children, because just, from a human point of view, his family would be like, come back, we'll take care of you, we'll help you with the children, blah, 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 blah. Those children would be expected at royal family events. Not necessarily the big public royal events that are working events, but at the family events. So for example, the Princess Catherine's Christmas carol thing at the church. It was beautiful, it was spectacular, everything else. But all the children were brought, including the stepchildren. Okay, there's a little boy who, was just born of regular people, who is now part of the royal family because his father married a royal. And now this child is included in royal family events like the Christmas concert or the Christmas walk to church on Christmas morning. The children are there because it's a family thing. It's not a working royal thing. So those children would be expected to be at the family events. So that creates a problem if they're not really their children, his children, her children, anything like that. So that's scenario number 2. I don't think that's the most likely thing to happen. I think that the most likely is that something happens to the children, because this is the easy answer to everything. So let's go back to, do we believe they exist? If the answer is no, then they got to deal with that. They got to get rid of these children, because of, like, in 10, 15 years, people are going to have expectations that these are adults and they should be part of society. They can't keep them hidden in the garden forever. So if something allegedly happens to these alleged children, then that they don't have to fake it anymore, because they would have to fake it for decades. Like, how long can you fake this for if these children don't actually exist? So if something happens to them, then the divorce between Harry and Meghan would be just an easy sign the papers. Many people, when a child dies in a family, the parents do not survive as a married couple, because oftentimes people grieve in different ways, and that's really hard to handle. My background is in funeral service. I've seen it over and over and over. And yeah, it's very hard on a family because it's hard to, men tend to grieve quietly, whereas women grieve outwardly. So that tends to create friction, and not intentionally. It just is what it is. So that could be the easy divorce. Harry could do whatever he wants. Okay. So again, we go back to the question, would the children have a royal funeral or a private funeral? So if it's a private funeral and the royal family is not invited, then everyone will hate Harry and Meghan. And if they do then go publicly saying, yeah, we invited them all, they didn't come, then everyone will hate the royals. And isn't that the end goal for Harry and Meghan? Is that everybody worships and adores them and everybody hates the royal family as much as they do. So that's my thoughts on that. Stay tuned. We'll see what happens. We'll see what stunt comes out next, because I am pretty convinced in my heart of hearts that there's going to be a I told you so moment with them. And I guess we just have to wait and see what it is. Thank you for joining me here today. Don't forget to click subscribe, click like, leave me a comment, and let me know what you think. Do the children exist? Do you think stunt is coming? And stay curious.